What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Bustin' Knuckle Productions. First of all, I want to thank everybody for stopping by and checking out my channel. And if you can't tell by the title and thumbnail of this video today, we're going to be taking the Mustang and I'm going to be telling you 5 things that I love about my Mustang. Now, there's a lot more than 5 things I love about it, but we're going to do 5 today because or else the video would be, 30 minutes long. Anyways, without further ado, let's get to it. Okay guys, so we're in the car now. And like I said, the video is going to be on 5 things I love about my Mustang. Alright guys, so number 1 for me is definitely going to be the looks. The car to me just looks really sleek, especially for the mid-90s whenever this car was built. And, it has the long front snout, the raised back, the short back. The car just looks really good to me. And I actually like this car better than the New Edge body style, just because I like the more rounded version compared to the, more cut version of the SN95 New Edge. Not saying I don't like the New Edge, because I really do, but I actually like this, this body style. I prefer this one better than the New Edge body style. Now, there's a lot of people who think this is like the redheaded stepchild of the Mustang group. They don't really like it. They like the New Edge better than the, the SN95. But to me, I think this one's one of the better ones. But everything about this car, from the curvature to the body lines to the shape of the car, just to me screams, that it's pretty fast the way it looks. Even though, they didn't come with like 215 horsepower and 260, 70 foot-pounds of torque, maybe 300 foot-pounds of torque from the factory. They weren't very fast from the factory, but if you do build them and actually give them some power to back up the look, the car goes much better together that way. But yes, guys, I am an SN95 fanboy. I love the old 5.0 cars. I'm not a big fan of the 4.6 cars, mainly just because they're so much harder to work on, which is another point in my video I'm going to be getting to in a minute. But that's definitely number 1 in my books, is the looks. Number 2 on my list is definitely going to be the power. Compared to stock is so much better, and all this car does have is a heads, cam, and intake change, and it's carb swapped. I have the Trick Flow 56cc combustion chamber heads. They're the 11R racing heads, or 11R heads. I guess the R stands for racing, I don't know. I got an E303 cam, which is just a good street cam. I have an Edelbrock Performer RPM intake and Demon 650 carb. And compared to stock, it's so much better, so much more fun to drive. It actually backs up the looks that it has, and you can hurt some people's feelings with it, really. The car's definitely quick. It's not the fastest thing in the world, I've said that before too, but compared to stock, it's insanely better. So much better. So number 3 on my list, guys, is definitely going to be the interior styling. The interior styling of the car now this is with my aftermarket seats, aftermarket wheels, changing the carpet, and doing, little small upgrades as far as the shift knob and stuff like that, and a short shifter and all that. At first I didn't really like the car on the interior, but now, after I've changed everything, I really like it. I really like the dual cockpit design, where you got sort of like 2 dashes, 2 cockpit styles on the dash. You got one side looks like it should have a gauge cluster in it, but the other one, doesn't. Has an airbag. But to me, it just looks really stylish in here, especially with the new seats and the new steering wheel and the shift knob, the short shifter, everything that I've added to it. I'm just really impressed with it. And then, just add little stuff like the floor mats and things like that. Just change the look of a car so much on the inside. And there's so much stuff that you can buy for this car, this aftermarket, that you can really change up the styling of it and make it look really good and make it your own. So number 3 is definitely the interior styling. And number 4, guys, is definitely going to be the sound. I love the way this car sounds now compared to stock, especially with the heads, cam, intake, carb swap, and all the header and exhaust work I've done to it. It really changed the sound and made it something that's just so much better compared to stock. Speaking of that, cutscene. guys enjoyed that little exhaust clip there. My exhaust setup is BBK shorty headers, BBK off-road H-pipe, and a piped pipe bomb catback exhaust. Everything that I got through LMR. And last but not least, number 5 on the list, guys, is how easy these things are to work on. These things are incredibly easy to work on, even stock. But whenever you carb swap them and take all the wires out of the way and all that stuff, like my car has 4 wires on it and it runs and does everything it needs to do. But even stock, guys, these things are really easy to work on. They're not tough. You know, everything's pretty open. You can have the transmissions out in 30 minutes. You can have the engines out in like an hour. And they're just really super easy to work on. And compared to the 4.6, you know, the new Edge, the 96 and to 04 cars, and even newer than that, it is leaps and bounds easier to work on the 5.0s than it is the 4.6s. And the main thing that's harder on the 4.6s than the SN95 5.0 cars is the engine work. Putting headers on a 4.6 car is super aggravating, and on a 5.0 car it's so much easier. If you buy, you know, good headers that are of high quality and you pay a good bit for them, you know, they fit pretty much perfect. You might have a little bit of starter clearance issues or something like that, but most of the time the ones I've put on, you know, they clear fine and don't have any issues. But on the 4.6 cars, on the other hand, you're talking about some serious R&R work. Just to put on headers, you got to pretty much take the cross member and the motor cradle down. You don't have to take it all the way down, but you got to take it loose just to get a set of headers on, which in my books is way too much work. But you know, if you want to go fast, you want go fast parts and you want bolt-ons, you're gonna do it. It's just so much easier on the 95 5.0 cars than previous. But yes, the 4.6s, they're definitely a lot more aggravating, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys will agree with me on that. They're more aggravating and more time consuming. There's a lot more parts on them. Alright, so we're back at the house now. Had a little camera issue, the camera battery died, but luckily I had a spare battery on hand. But that's the 5 things I love about my Mustang. And if you guys did like the video, be sure to smash that like button down below. If it's your first time viewing my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, be sure to stay up to date with all the new videos that's coming out. Until next time, guys, we'll see you later.